Namaskar. Gandhi and mass movements. Gandhi and his thought. Mohandas Karamchandra Gandhi was born on 2 October 1869 at Porbandar in Gujarat. After getting his legal education in Britain, he landed at Durban in 1893 on a one-year contract to sort out the legal problems of Dada Abdullah, a Gujarati. In South Africa, Gandhi protested against the discriminating treatments meted out to the Indians, formed the Natal Indian Congress, and suffered imprisonment. Gandhi soon became the leader of the struggle against these two conditions, and during 1893 to 1914 was engaged in a heroic though unequal struggle against the racist authorities of South Africa. Gandhi in South Africa developed the method of passive resistance or civil disobedience, which he named Satyagraha. His principal mouthpiece was Indian Opinion 1903. He set up Tolstoy Farm, which was the precursor of later Gandhian ashrams that were to play important role in the Indian national movement. In 1914, he was awarded Kesari Hind Gold Medal for raising an Indian ambulance in England during the Boer War and First World War. After his arrival in India in January 1915, he founded the Sabarmati Ashram at Ahmedabad, 1916, where his friends and followers were to learn and practice the idea of truth and non-violence. He also set out to experiment with his new method of struggle in the Indian freedom struggle. Gandhiji was greatly influenced by the works of Leo Tolstoy, as Civil Disobedience and Ruskin. Onto this last, Tolstoy's ideal of non-possession was developed by Gandhiji in his concept of trusteeship. He was also influenced by the life and teachings of Swami Vivekananda. His political guru Gokhale and Dadabhai Nauroji also influenced him. Gandhi's thought on politics. Gandhiji had an experience of moderate phase of struggle in South Africa from 1894 to 1906, and the second phase of passive resistance or civil disobedience, which was named as Satyagraha from 1906 to 1914. He followed moderate techniques of prayers and tech petitions in the struggle against racial discriminations. He believed in careful training of disciplined cadets. His non-violent Satyagraha involved peaceful violation of a specific laws. He resorted to mass courting arrest and occasional hardals and spectacular marches. He had readiness for negotiations and compromise at times, leading to abrupt unilateral withdrawal. As a politician and not just as Gandhi in practice sometimes settled for less than complete non-violence. Gandhi unified the national struggle against foreign rule. Gandhian view on society. Although Gandhiji supported the Varna system without the element of hierarchical occupation, he was against the pernicious caste system, including the practice of untouchability, and he emphasized on Hindu-Muslim unity and on the equality of men and women. He was against Purdah practice and child marriage. His ideal society was Ram Rajya. Gandhian view on economy. He advocated the concept of Swadeshi and opposed to large-scale industries. He stressed the need for reliance on cottage industries as it would make India self-sufficient. He encouraged Khadi for self-reliance and Swadesh and gave importance to labor and sweat. Gandhiji fought for the interest of peasants in Champaran and Khera and laborers in Ahmedabad. He was for balanced economic growth and decentralization of economy. He tried to harmonize the relationship between the laborers and the capitalists by the concept of trusteeship, where the profit of factory is shared by both the capitalists and laborers for common good. Thus, he was against capitalism and not the capitalist. Gandhian view on religion. Gandhiji was secular in his approach and fought for Hindu-Muslim unity till his death. For religion is the highest necessity of human life. For him, religion was the basis of morality, and morality was the guiding factor in politics. Gandhiji said, "My religion knows no political limits, and my religion does not teach me to hate one another." To him, religion was the service of the helpless, the meek, and downtrodden. According to him, further, the religion of love and service cannot be practiced without ahimsa and non-violence. Gandhian view on education. Gandhiji gave a scheme of basic education, also known as Vardha scheme of education. The aim of true education, in his opinion, should be to make the student self-supporting and self-reliant, and to realize the dignity of labor and manual work. He was for the revocalization of education by teaching the pupils handicrafts and Hindi to be the medium of education till 7th standard. Education, he believed, was the most powerful instrument of human social transformation and should inculcate values like social service, service to the nation, and humanity. 1. Gandhi's concept of Swartodaya connotes the greatest good of all. In his view, the highest service of the state and of the individual should be the realization of this ideal. 2. His concept of Swaraj. His concept of Swaraj implied freedom from foreign domination and control of foreign powers. According to Gandhiji, the government under Swaraj shall be one in which each individual, irrespective of his religion, race, caste, sex, and place of birth, shall have as its motto the welfare of the people in general. Emphasis on self-restraint and self-rule remained a significant cornerstone of Gandhiji's moral dimension of Swaraj. Gandhiji saw a very close link between nationalism and internationalism, as internationalism could grow only out of true nationalism. Gandhian techniques of mass mobilization. Gandhiji's first great experiment in Satyagraha came in 1917 in Champaran, Bihar, where the peasants were forced by the European planters to grow indigo on at least 3/20th of their land and sell it at prices fixed by the planters. Tin Kathia system accompanied by Babu Rajendra Prasad, Mazhar ul Haq and J.B. Kriplani, Narhari Parekh and Mahadev Desai. Gandhiji reached Champaran in 1917. In 1918, Gandhiji intervened in a dispute between the workers and owners of Ahmedabad. It was here that he used the weapon of hunger strike and won for the workers a 35% increase in wages. In 1918, the Khera peasant struggle involved Gandhiji and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. These three significant struggles brought Gandhiji in close contact with the masses. The 1917 Sedition Committee, headed by the Justice Sidney Rowlatt, led Justice Sidney Rowlatt led to the passing of Rowlatt Act 1919, where the committee made recommendations to arm the government with powers to suppress all unlawful and dangerous activities. Called the Black Act, it was widely opposed. Along with other nationalists, Gandhiji was also aroused, and in February 1919, he founded the Satyagraha Sabha, whose members took a pledge to disobey the act and thus to court arrest and imprisonment. March and April 1919 witnessed a remarkable political awakening in India. Gandhiji gave a call for an all-India Hartal on 6th April 1919. The people responded with great enthusiasm. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre at Amritsar on 13th April 1919 on the order of General Dyer stunned the whole nation. The unarmed crowd had gathered at the Bagh in defiance of ban on public meeting to protest against the arrest of their popular leaders, Dr. Saifuddin Kichlew and Dr. Satyapal. Tagore renounced his knighthood in protest. Khilafat and the Non-Cooperation Movement, 1919 to 1922. The main object of the Khilafat movement was to force the British government to change its attitude towards Turkey and restore the Turkish Sultan Caliphate to his former position. A Khilafat committee was formed under the leadership of Olive brothers, Maulana Azad, Hakim Ajmal Khan and Hazrat Mohani, and a country-wide agitation was organized in February 1920. Gandhiji suggested to the Khilafat committee to adopt a program of non-violent non-cooperation to protest the government behavior. On 9 June 1920, the Khilafat Committee at Allahabad unanimously accepted his suggestion and asked Gandhiji to lead the movement. The Congress leaders, including Gandhiji, viewed the Khilafat agitation as a golden opportunity for cementing the Hindu-Muslim unity and bringing the Muslim masses into a national movement. The Congress at its special session in September 1920 at Calcutta supported Gandhi's plan for non-cooperation for three cause redressal of the Punjab grievances, notification, rectification of the Khilafat wrongs, and the establishment of Swaraj. The people The people were asked to boycott government educational institutions, law courts, and legislatures, to give up foreign clothes, to surrender officially conferred titles and honors. Through these negative programs, the Indians sought to refuse to cooperate with the British government. The positive programs of the non-cooperation movement included establishment of national schools and colleges, setting up of panchayats, popularization of Swadeshi and Khadi, development of Hindu-Muslim unity, removal of untouchability, etc. This decision of non-cooperation movement was endorsed at the annual session of Congress held at Nagpur in December 1920. The Nagpur session also made changes in the constitution of the Congress. The adoption of non-cooperation movement, initiated earlier by the Khilafat Conference on 31st August 1920 by the Congress, gave it a new energy, and from January 1921 it began to register considerable success all over the country. The Tilak Swaraj Fund was started to finance the non-cooperation movement. Earlier, Lokmanya Tilak passed away on 1st August 1920. The visit of the Prince of Wales in November 1920 also led to the observation of Hartal all over the country. On the day the Prince landed in Bombay on February 1st, 1922, Mahatma Gandhi announced that he would start mass civil disobedience, including non-payment of taxes unless within 7 days the political prisoners were released and press freed from government control. The general mood of the people was also quite rebellious. On 5th February 1922, a Congress procession at Chaura Chori in Gorakhpur district of UP was fired upon by the police. This angry crowd attacked and burned the police station, causing death of 22 policemen. Gandhiji was afraid that government might take a violent turn, and at his resistance, the Congress Working Committee, at his insistence, the Congress Working Committee on 12 February abruptly called off the movement. Gandhiji was arrested on 10th March 1922 but was released in February 1924. Significance of non-cooperation movement. The Indian National Movement acquired real mass base for the first time with the participation of peasants, workers, students, lawyers, teachers, etc. 2. The Congress became the organizer and rager of masses in their freedom struggle. 3. It marked the height of Hindu-Muslim unity. Very soon, the Khilafat movement also lost relevance due to the Kemalist revolution in Turkey, which made it a secular state. Civil disobedience movement from 1930 to 1931. Phase 1. Civil disobedience of the law of the unjust and tyrannical government is a strong and extreme form of political agitation, according to Gandhi, which should be adopted only as a last resort. The Lahore Congress of 1920 had authorized the Working Committee to launch a program of civil disobedience, including non-payment of taxes. The committee also invested Gandhi with full powers to launch the movement. The 11 points ultimatum of Gandhiji to Lord Irwin, after being ignored by the British government, made Gandhiji to launch the civil disobedience movement on 12th March 1930 with his famous Dandi March from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on Gujarat coast. On 6th April, Gandhiji reached Dandi, picked up a handful of salt and broke the salt law as a symbol of Indian people's refusal to live under British made laws and therefore under British rule. The movement now spread rapidly. Violation of salt laws all over the country was soon followed by defiance of forest laws in Maharashtra, Karnataka and the central provinces, and the refusal to pay the rural chowkidari tax in eastern India. The people joined hartals, demonstrations and the campaign to boycott foreign goods and to refuse to pay taxes. In many parts of the country, the peasants refused to pay land revenue and rent and had their lands confiscated. A notable feature of movement was the wide participation of women in northwestern provinces under the leadership of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, popularly known as Frontier Gandhi. The Pathans organized the Society of Khudai Khidmat Guards, or the Servants of God, known popularly as Red Shirts. They were pledged to non-violence and the freedom struggle. In northeast, Rani Gai De Liu raised the banner of rebellion against GAIDILIEU. Guy Deliu raised the banner of foreign rebellion against foreign rule. The government resorted to ruthless repression, later lathi charges and firing. Over 90,000 satyagrahis, including Gandhiji and other Congress leaders, were imprisoned and Congress declared illegal. Gandhi Irwin Pact was signed in March 1931 due to the efforts of Sir Tej Bahadur Sapru, Dr. Jaikar and others to bring about a compromise between the government and the Congress. The government agreed to withdraw all ordinances and end persecutions, release all political prisoners, restored the confiscated property of the Satyagrahis and permitted the free collection or manufacture of salt. The Congress in turn agreed to suspend the civil disobedience movement and to participate in the second roundtable conference, part second of civil disobedience movement from 1932 to 1934. On his return to India after the second roundtable conference, Gandhiji resumed the civil disobedience movement in January 1932. The Congress was declared illegal by the government and it restored it arrested most of the leading Congress leaders. The movement was gaining strength when it was suddenly sidetracked with the announcement of Communal Award 1932 by the British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald. The movement gradually waned. The Congress officially suspended the movement in May 1933 and withdrew it in May 1934. The significance of civil disobedience movement: 1. It had the objective of achieving complete independence. 2. It involved deliberate violation of law. and was evidently more militant. 3. There was wide participation of women. 4. It was not marked by the same Hindu-Muslim unity. which was witnessed during non-cooperation movement. Quiet India movement 1942. The failure of the Crisp mission, deranging prices and wartime shortages, and the Japanese threat forced the Congress to take active steps to compel the British for accepting the Indian demand for independence. The All Indian Congress Committee met at Bombay on 8 August 1942 and passed the famous Quiet India Resolution. It proposed the starting of a non-violent mass struggle under Gandhi's helped leadership to achieve this aim. But before the Congress could start a movement, the government arrested Gandhiji and other Congress leaders on 9 August 1942. Left leaderless and without any organization, the people reacted in any manner they could all over the country. There were hartals, strikes in factories, schools and colleges, and demonstrations which were lathi charged and fired upon. The people took to violent action and attacked the symbols of British authority, the police stations, post offices, railway stations, etc. In some areas such as Balia in eastern UP, Tumluk in Midnapur district of Bengal, and Satara districts of Maharashtra, the revolutionaries set up parallel government. In general, the students, workers, and peasants provided the backbone of the revolt, while the upper classes and the bureaucracy remained loyal to the government. In the end, the government succeeded in crushing the movement. Dhanyavad. Thank you so much.